I'm Jill Morgan-Meek, host of Small Talk with Jill, exploring businesses one virtual interview at a time. Today I'll be speaking with Deborah Blake of the Artisans Guild in Oneonta Otsego County, New York. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Founded in 1999 by a potter and a jeweler, the Guild is a not-for-profit cooperative shop featuring the work of local and regional artisans. Hi, Deb. Thanks for joining me today. As you know, this channel was created during the COVID-19 pandemic timeframe. We both are part of businesses, yours a not-for-profit. What we're trying to do is create a channel where our locals get to know some of the small businesses downtown, as well as those out-of-town guests that we're looking forward to when we get back to our new norm. The tourists are allowed to come back, and we're excited for that. But to get to know the businesses. And I'm so excited because you represent the Artisan Guild. And I have to tell you, I have spent a lot of money at the Artisan Guild. It's one of the key spots that I stop in with out-of-town guests. And then when I'm sending them little trinkets, I either send them home with little trinkets, or when I'm sending them little gifts, I always stop in because I want something to remind them of their stay here in Otsego County. Tell me, how did this all come about?
I'm a jewelry maker and an author at this point, but when we started, I was a jewelry maker. My friend Ellie Stromberg, who started the store with me, is a potter. We had both had items in what was the local arts council's galleries / little shop, and they closed. And we were both in their offices one day and said, when are you going to reopen? And they said, why don't you do it? And we laughed. And a year later, or a year and a half later, we opened the Artisans Guild. It is a not-for-profit shop. It features the work of about 50 local and regional artists and craftspeople. Basically, the reason we say it's a not-for-profit, we're not a charity, but all of the money that doesn't get used to pay my exorbitant part-time salary and keep the lights turned on and the heat and pay the rent goes back to the artists. We are there for the artists. We are there for the community because we thought it was important. One of the reasons we started the place was there was no good place to find all of this talent. We have all of these amazing people. We have potters, we have blown glass and stained glass, we have soap, we have, of course, paintings and photographs and
Chocolates.
Oh yes, we have Laura's chocolates, very popular. We have a number of different woodworkers. There's just an incredible range of things, all of which is made by somebody who's local or regional. It's made in the area. The money that is spent in the shop stays in the area, which we think is very important. We go out and then spend our money locally. So we are extremely locally focused. That's our thing. But we do love people who come from non-local places and shop and spread the word.
Oh, absolutely.
In October, we celebrated our 20th anniversary.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. So you say regionally. Since I've moved here almost 7 years ago, I am just blown away by the talent in this area, in the Catskills, in the Capital Region. So regionally, what is your reach?
I think the furthest away, we have one person who comes from up near the Syracuse area. Most of our folks are literally within about a 20 or 30 mile radius, that local. We have a few people who come from a little bit further away. Because all the artists work a shift at the shop every month, they have to live close enough to make it practical for them to drive in, work their hours, and drive home. Part of our focus has always been that we want to provide a place for the local folks to have their work shown, even though it's tempting to expand further, like the Capital District, which has a lot of talented people. They have places there for people to show their work. Around here, it's us. There's craft fairs, there's, the occasional show, but for a permanent location, it's pretty much us. There are a few shops locally that have some locally handcrafted things, but they don't specialize in it.
But this incorporates everyone together. And I love that the artisans are there. I know they have to work the shift, and it's part of the requirement of being an artisan, but I do love that I have the opportunity to meet the artist. It's fun when you go in behind the counter. I never know who I'm going to meet. And then that, it's that, oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to check out, and I'll be like, oh, wait,
let me go check your stuff out, and it might be one
That
thing
is
that
that is our evil plan. But yeah, we have an artist on duty sign, and whoever's there, it says their name and what it is they make. And very often, people will strike up conversations and say, "Oh, which thing is yours?" And can you show it to me? Can you explain it to me? For the most part, the artists like working there because you get feedback on your work. I confess, I like it when people walk by my jewelry case and they don't realize that I'm the person working behind the desk. And they'll say, "Oh, this is so pretty." And I get to say, "Oh, I made that. Thank you." And then, yeah, I'll go over and explain it to them. We are a very proactive shop, I guess you could say, in that, yes, we do interact with people. We aren't just there to work there. This is something everybody's invested in it. And not just in our own things, we love each other's work. And so I'll get just as excited showing somebody a picture or, a beautiful silk scarf or something. It's a place where it's really easy to honestly show enthusiasm for the things that you're selling, because it's not like normal retail. This is a whole different ball of wax.
We kind of got to go back in time when we're used to our tourist season, the Baseball Hall of Fame week. Isn't it fun to think, the Little League games that take place here? We have had families from around the world come here. And to think they've been in your shop, your pieces of art could be anywhere in the world, isn't it?
We're international. I know some of my own work is in Belgium, in England. We have a photographer that a woman from Germany comes every year and always picks up a piece of hers to take home. So, and yes, then there's the folks from California, and of course the college students. We don't get a lot of college student trade, but their parents, when they come into town for parents weekend or to pick up their kids or drop off their kids, they come in and they're always amazed to find this shop in little old Oneonta.
Can't forget the college students, because they and their families spend a lot of money in our community. I would imagine that because a lot of them are young artists themselves, that it's inspiring to walk into the Artisans Guild for them.
Go. We actually have had teachers bring classes through. When we set out, we had a number of goals. One of which was to provide the artists with a place to show their work. One was, to provide people a place to find it and buy it. But another was to be someplace where people could see beautiful things, whether or not they were going to buy them. I mean, we're not a gallery. We're not there, just for people to look at it. But, I always laugh when somebody comes in and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just browsing." And I say, "No, it's here. Look at it. Enjoy it. If it makes your heart happy, we've done our job for the day. And yes, hopefully they'll come back some other time and spend some money. That would be great." There are very few places in this area. There's a few museums. The colleges have museums and have shows. And there's, of course, the Fenimore Museum. But we want to be a place where they can bring the kids through and show them, this is what handmade pottery looks like. Look, somebody painted this picture. That is part of our goal as an entity, as it were.
So much talent.
Oh yeah, see this mug? Yeah, with Artisans Guild.
That is. And what is it?
It's my favorite.
Oh, you had mentioned before we started this interview that lamp was from the Artisan Guild.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, if I could take you on a tour around my living room, you would see a lot of things from the Artisans Guild. For one thing, it's been 20 years and I've been running it since the very beginning. And apparently it didn't occur to me when we started this that if I loved these things enough that I would want to run a shop like this, that I was going to want to buy them all and bring them home.
I had the same problem at the consignment shop. When I first started, I was like, I can't buy everything because then there's nothing for anybody else.
Exactly. I periodically have to say to myself, now leave something for somebody else.
That's right.
But it is funny because the artists buy from each other. I don't have to go very far to do my shopping.
Right. Same here.
I actually do I would say 90% of my gift shopping downtown. I make the rounds of, the various different, I go to the bookstore, I go to Teresa's Emporium, I go to Artware, I go to Razzle Dazzle, all of these various places. And I am always amazed by how much great stuff there is in the surrounding area. People sometimes don't seem to be aware of.
We're rich in treasures and talent in this community and this county. This county, again, this is what the channel is for.
An incredible amount of talent for such a small rural area.
It's funny because at my shop, I'm always kibitzing with people, and it's amazing how many artists walk in that are just visiting the area. I get into these conversations, their backgrounds it's just incredible. They themselves have written books or are in museums, or their spouse are, and exhibits are going around the world. It's incredible that we're almost a melting pot here of people.
Well, it's a beautiful area. I mean, I could see why it would attract artists who paint or take photographs or whatever, because it is visually stunning.
Yes.
No matter what season it is, we just had that snow the other day, and it was good that I knew it was going to melt really fast, but it was, I looked out my window at the trees and the birds and the snow. It was absolutely gorgeous.
It was breathtaking. It was a postcard moment, a calendar picture. Yeah, it was.
And then it melted, which was good.
That's the other thing. How are the artists coping during this pandemic? I know everyone is just trying to find their way, but I'm wondering, how are you communicating with them? How are you coping?
Well, I've been talking to quite a few of them individually. After all of this time, we're a little bit like an extended family. And so, I'm sending out the occasional email to keep everybody updated. Gotten a lot of emails back that say, we're hanging in there. We're not going anywhere. We plan to, stick with the guild. It is a tough time because we are funded only two ways. One is a small percentage of the sales. Most of it goes back to the artist, and the other is that every artist pays $52 a month to be a member. And at this point, they're paying that money and getting nothing back in return other than the hope that we will be able to reopen and the store will, continue to be wonderful, and they will eventually earn enough to make that worthwhile. And I've been really, really stunned and pleased by the fact that they're all so far saying we're not going anywhere. We are going to stick with this, as long as we can. We believe in the shop, we believe in each other, and we're going to hang in together. We have wonderful customers who come back over and over and over again. And, so we have hopes that they will come and support us, and we have hopes that, yes, the tourist season will, in some form, start up again. But people are hanging in. Some of them are doing, their artwork. That's obvious.
I was gonna ask, are they using this time to create new pieces of art?
Some of them are. Part of the problem, and I'm finding that I'm also a writer, an author. It's a little hard to be creative during this kind of time because of the stress, because of the worry. But I think, people are doing their best to, yes, create things to, get some work done so that when life goes back to the new normal, we'll have all sorts of beautiful things to, show off to people.
I love that you treat this like a family. That's why it's been 20 years, and congratulations on the anniversary. I look forward to the time that I can get back into the Artisans Guild and shop. Thank you for your time today, and I want to invite you back because this channel is not just going to be the COVID-19, let's find out what our businesses are in Otsego County. I want this to be a channel that we can continue to shout out about our local businesses. And I want to invite you back because I would love to do an in-person interview and be able to really showcase the artist.
That would be great. I really look forward to it. And thank you for inviting me in today to your home. Um, and hopefully the next time we get to chat, we'll have more positive things to talk about than hanging in there. We'll be able to talk about how we're turning things around, and it's all getting better.
I look forward to that. You be well.
You be well.
If you know a business or own a business you'd like to see featured, please comment below. If you are new, consider subscribing to this channel and sharing it with other people who would enjoy its content. Until next time, remember, here on Small Talk, we are connecting people to people and business to business.